everyone, and welcome back. This is Mindy Eggen, and in tonight's video I'm featuring the latest collaboration stamp set from Simon Says Stamp and Waffle Flower. I'm going to be doing an ink blended background using my Distress Oxide inks with this gorgeous snowflake stamp set. I can never pass up working with a beautiful snowflake stamp set, and this one is no different. Now, even though there are snowflakes on here, the sentiments are very versatile. There's birthday, Christmas, thank you, and miss you, friend. So I'm going to work on ink blending my background first. This is 80-pound white cardstock, and I'm starting at the bottom with Salvaged Patina Distress Oxide ink. I'm using a foam blending tool to apply the ink, and I am going to work in a 3-color combo, so I'm working in thirds on my card. The second color I'm bringing in is Mermaid Lagoon, starting right past that Salvaged Patina and working my way up. But I am going to come back. I'm going to try and soften out that harsh line between the Mermaid Lagoon and the Salvaged Patina. So the more ink that I apply, the better that line is going to be. I should say the more that line is going to disappear. Sorry about that. My next color is Uncharted Mariner. Now, I have not played with this color a lot, but it makes great snowflake backgrounds. So I applied that ink, and then once again, just going back over those colors to help smooth that transition. I'm going to kind of quickly go over this with my heat tool to help speed up that drying process because I do need that completely dry before I heat emboss. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to stamp out the Warm Wishes sentiment onto white cardstock using black ink, and since I don't have a die for this, I'm using my scissors to fussy cut. Now when I fussy cut, I am moving the cardstock more than my scissors so that I can get around all those curves of the sentiment. Now once my background is completely dry, I'm bringing it to my Misti tool and I'm popping it up a little bit with the Misti corner so that I can have these snowflakes hanging off of the edge. I'm going to arrange them, and then once I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to pick them up with the door of the Misti, and I'm going to need to make sure I prep my cardstock really well with an anti-static powder tool. This is going to help so that the embossing powder only sticks to my ink. So I'm inking those snowflakes up with embossing ink, stamping down really well because these are thicker snowflakes. They're not really thin lined ones like a lot of the sets that I have. Then I'm going to sprinkle on Brutus Monroe Sterling Embossing Powder. And if you've never tried this before, I highly recommend it. It is super, super shiny. So I tapped off the excess, and then I have my heat tool warming up off on the side, and I can bring it in and melt that embossing powder. Now you may notice that there might be a slight shine on your background. Don't worry about that. That's just part of whatever is special in his embossing powder. It kind of leaves a sheen. But once my embossing is dry, I'm going to wipe over that with a Swiffer cloth. I'm going to bring this back over to my Misti, just flip the cardstock, prepped it again with that anti-static powder tool, and then I had rearranged my snowflakes so that they filled up the entire card front. Once again, sprinkling on that sterling embossing powder and then melting that, and we have some super shine going on with our snowflakes. Now, one more thing I want to do before I call this background good is I want to add some white flicks. So here I'm using some white glimmer metallic ink from Hero Arts. I just added a couple drops to my mat, mixed it with some water, and then picking it up with a paintbrush, I'm going to sprinkle this over the background. Now I don't want to smear these, so after I applied all of my drops, I'm going to just go over this real quick with my heat tool. After this is dry, I'm going to trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm adding foam squares behind my sentiment. So now I'm adding my panel onto a white card base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 using a dot runner. And then after I remove the backing of the foam squares, I can add that to the front of the card. And then one last final touch to the front of this card is I'm adding these iridescent dewdrops using some liquid glue and my Trinity pickup tool. So that's going to finish off my card for tonight. Keep in mind this is exclusive and is only available over at Simon Says Stamp and only while supplies last. I will have all of my supplies listed down below in the video description and over on my blog. Now, even if you don't pick up this exclusive stamp set, I still hope you found this video inspirational and can use it in your future card projects. I would super appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video. And if you're not already a subscriber, you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you're notified when new videos are posted. Thank you so much for joining me today.